why gas is $4 a gallon? Hi, I'm Patrick.
I'm Cameron.
And I'm Lauren. Welcome to a very special edition of Breakfast Burrito, all about the Arab Awakening.
Yes, brought to you by Match.com, Facebook, and Twitter. Holla!
Maybe you guys have heard a little something about some rowdy individuals in the Middle East / sweeping reform in every single country.
Most notably, the overthrow in Egypt.
Yes, but shit got real way before Egypt in a little country in Africa called Tunisia. Refresher, this is Tunisia.
Okay, people, this is a super short summary. This isn't Lord of the Rings, so if you want to know more, pick up a book.
Yeah.
Joking. Google.
So Leonard, what the heck happened in Tunisia? Apparently I wasn't watching the BBC that day. Year. Okay, ever.
Alright folks, shit got real in the Middle East in Tunisia when 26-year-old Mohammed Abu Azizi, a fruit cart vendor, lit himself on fire outside the governor's palace.
Tunisia is one of the smartest countries in Africa. 75% literacy rate, which is comparable to the US.
Even better if you just look at Los Angeles. Booyah! That's right folks, in Tunisia, college means nothing because there is no economy, no jobs, and that's just one of the reasons to light yourself on fire. The other, no cable. The problem with Tunisia is that it's basically run by a mob-style family of politicians. They take bribes, they rig elections, and they're in power and not going anywhere for years.
Want to start a business in Tunisia?
Ben Ali, otherwise known as the Tunisian Tony Soprano, he's gonna want to cut it out.
Poor folks in Tunisia would literally kill for a good job at Starbucks right now.
And then kill themselves after they get there. Hi-yo!
Which brings us back to our 26-year-old college grad fruit cart vendor supporting a family of 8. Okay people, so this is what went down. This crazy police officer goes in and approaches our poor little 26-year-old street cart vendor demanding for him to have a license to sell fruit. Well, him being already in debt can't pay for this non-existent license and tells her no. What does she do? She spits on him, humiliates him in public, and worse, takes the scale, the only thing he needs to sell his damn fruit.
How am I gonna weigh the fruit?
So when he goes to the governor to complain, the governor won't even see him.
And when the governor refused to meet with him, he literally couldn't take it anymore and lit himself on fire.
Literally within hours, riots and protests began. By the time his funeral was held, 5,000 people hit the streets. Students protested, old people protested, lawyers even went on strike. And 28 days later, they had literally brought down the government.
Wow, that was Tunisia in under 2 minutes. Bravo.
Seriously. Now let's move on to Egypt, where things have gotten crazier than a Lady Gaga video.
And now let's get to Emily, who gives the scoop in a very calm, collected, indoor voice. Hey guys, I'm Emily! And it's basically MTV Spring Break right now in Egypt. Why, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Because it's the desert, and it's always spring break. Laugh track? Who wrote that? Cameron? Ben? Okay, but seriously, Hosni Mubarak, Egypt's president / dictator, minus the tater, you'll get that later, finally stepped down after 34 years of torturing innocent people without trials, jailing whoever for whatever reason, rigging elections blatantly, taking over the country's private businesses and only sharing the profit with his pals, killing or exiling reporters and opponents, censoring all the news, and just basically being a murderous version of Charlie Sheen. In a country of like 1 million, 17,000 have been detained illegally, and 30,000 political prisoners have been jailed. That's like half the country. Don't do the math. Alright, so here's the deal. On June 6, 2010, this businessman, Khalid Saeed, supposedly has some video footage of cops involved in a drug raid. So he's chilling at a cyber cafe, obviously catching up with Perez. Oh, by the way, did I mention he's another guy in his 20s? When out of nowhere, these cops come up to him and beat him to death. Horrified, an anonymous activist sneaks into the morgue, snaps a shot of his corpse, and posts it on a Facebook account called We Are All Khalid Saeed. This starts blowing up all over Egypt immediately. Guys, texting, Twitter, Facebook, they're the only form of non-censored mass communication in Egypt. Right around Mubarak's election last fall, the Facebook page suddenly disappears because someone told Facebook it was fake. Wow, an activist in DC gets Google exec Wael Ghanem to become the administrator, and the page goes on. 473,000 Facebook friends later, Ghanem is posting every hour to help plan the January 25th revolution. Well, he's arrested and imprisoned for 12 days, clearly, but that only helps fuel the massive protests. 6 days later, on February 1st, Mubarak collapses under the pressure and flees the country. Now you're up to speed on Egypt. Back to you guys.
Wow, my Facebook is really underachieving right now.
Tell me about it. The worst I ever complained about is parking tickets.
You mean rather than, I don't know, freedom?
Yeah, parking tickets in LA are like $80. I can't eat this week.
Really can't?
Okay, let's get the down low in Libya. That sounded kind of wrong.
Having trouble starting a love life on Match.com? How about a revolution? Well, in Libya, even Facebook and Twitter are monitored by the police. Don't get any ideas, Mom.
Mahmoudi, the leader of the Difference movement, used what's considered to be the Match.com of the Middle East to send encrypted love letters to other revolutionaries to rally for a revolution. All right, guys, here's a Cliff Notes version. In 1951, Libya got their independence, but they were one of the poorest countries in the world until they found oil. Awesome, right? No.
Because in 1969, military officer Muammar Gaddafi took over, threw out the constitution, and is now the world's longest ruling autocrat. What's Gaddafi known for? Let's check out his IMDb, shall we?
Censoring factories, newspapers, and schools.
Backing terrorist groups.
Funding civil wars.
Murdering people who criticize him abroad.
And keeping the money from oil all to himself and his cronies.
Did I mention ridiculous human rights violations?
Sweet resume.
On February 15th, 200 people started protesting outside police headquarters in Benghazi following the arrest of human rights activist Fahi Turbil. Turbil was representing 1,000 prisoners killed illegally by Libyan security forces.
Since then, protests have gotten way bigger and way more violent. Gaddafi has brought in warplanes and helicopters to start shooting at civilians. He's hired African mercenaries because his own military is turned against him. And on February 25th, his own son joined the protesters. Side note, you might want to know that Russia is arming this guy.
Crazy Gaddafi has said that he will fight his opponents until the last drop of his blood has been spilt, rather than step down. Okay, Satan. Seriously, how old is this guy? Will someone just poison his prune juice already, or like push him down the stairs or something? That's what's going down in Libya. Back to you guys in the studio.
Yes, this is a real studio and not Cameron's apartment.
Okay, so I don't get it. I understand how Facebook is awesome and all that fun stuff, but it takes more than a couple posts to get shit moving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, trust me, I've tried. P.S. Check out my songs on iTunes.
Great question, and I think we need to bring a real heavyweight scholar in on this one, guys. I know just the gay for the job! Percy Rusty?
Yay! Okay, fine. Look, guys, let's go back pre-Facebook. So, what, Middle Ages? The Ottoman Empire went from 1233, to 1922 and spanned 3 continents. Don't fall asleep, stay with me. They sided with Germany in World War I. Losers! And basically sucked the big one. It got split up by us and all the other winners. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, guys. That's what happened. And after World War II, Woodrow Wilson and some people who are dead now got together, created the United Nations, and gave all these countries freedom. So in the 1950s, all these countries gained freedom, and we're like, yay, democracy! Don't you go to sleep right now, I am still talking! Ooh, I just went off to sleep myself. So remember, people, this is the middle of the Cold War, and Russia and the US have like some serious beef and all these crazy blow-up weapons that they just want to use on each other. And the US is realizing, this new region has these crazy awesome resources like oil, and if they side with Russia, we're dead. Last year's news, Tory spelling. So we say in the Eisenhower Doctrine, we will support anyone and everyone who is anti-communism. And some of these people were cool, and some of these people were dictators, and we totally look the other way because we do not want no terrorists and no communists taking over and blowing up everything. No ma'am, Miss Pam. So all these dictators are in power, and they're like oppressing all the people, and every time the people try to get them out, the dictators are like, oh, no, these are terrorists. Or worse, pro-US. Okay, that's the whole big deal, so y'all can go to sleep now.
Oh my goodness, thank God for Zuckerberg.
So true. With Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, kidding. Young people have actually been able to educate themselves, rally together, and change their future.
It's amazing! Now there's protests and uprising all over the region in Yemen, Jordan, Sudan, Bahrain, Iran,
Wisconsin.
Iraq. What?
Yeah, strong unions.
Shut
keep
up.
them. Okay. Folks, keep inspiring us. Because remember, revolutions, they start with one person.
And remember, check out my songs on iTunes. Hey!
And that was our very special Arab Awakening edition of Record Burrito!